All right. Gotta say, when we first saw the request to deep dive into this this potential Tyson-Paul fight,
Oh, yeah.
we were both like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on, really?
It's Mike Tyson.
It's Mike Tyson.
At 58.
At 58 against Jake Paul.
That's bizarre.
It's bizarre, but like everybody's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it.
And what I find really interesting is it's not, some like washed up celebrity boxing match.
No.
You've got Jake Paul who, okay, yeah, he rose to fame through, social media and all that.
Sure.
But he's racked up some real wins in the boxing ring.
I got real wins.
And then you have, of course, the legend, Mike Tyson.
A legend.
Who even in his later years, remains this like symbol of power and ferocity in the ring.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy he's an icon.
He is.
And the source material that you sent over.
Oh, yeah.
Like perfect
Fair.
for our deep dive style.
Raw and unfiltered.
Raw, unfiltered, just a snippet.
Just a snippet.
From the Joe Rogan Experience podcast.
Yep.
Featuring Joe and a guest only identified as D.
That's right.
But they really get into like the nitty-gritty of this potential fight.
Oh, they get into it.
And it's clear from the jump that even seasoned fight veterans,
Like
D, are grappling with what this matchup even means.
Like so would.
Like there's excitement, there's skepticism, there's even like a touch of fear.
For sure.
About what might happen
Oh, yeah.
when these two actually, face off in the ring.
Big time.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Let's do it.
Starting with Jake Paul.
Okay.
He's been carefully selecting his opponents.
He has.
Often going up against bigger guys.
Yeah, bigger guys.
But D suggests it's more than just size, right?
It's more than size.
It's about Paul strategically using his power.
Right.
Which he clearly has.
Oh, yeah.
D actually points to Paul's knockout of Tyron Woodley.
Oh, man.
Who, for those who don't know, is a former UFC champion. Known for his, striking power.
Big-time striker.
And Paul managed to not only withstand Woodley's attacks.
Right.
But, knock him out cold.
Cold.
In fact, D was so shaken by that knockout that he swore off cornering fights ever again.
Word off.
That's how impactful that knockout was.
Yeah.
It really does. It kind of underscores the legitimate power that Paul possesses.
For sure.
It's easy to just, write him off as, oh, he's just a YouTuber. But D puts it,
Right.
That power, you can't deny.
You can't deny that power.
And then you combine that with his strategic approach to, who he chooses to fight.
Absolutely.
It really paints a picture of a fighter who, while he's still relatively inexperienced, he's learning.
He's learning fast.
And he's learning how to use what he's got.
Leverage his strength.
Leverage his strengths, exactly.
For sure.
But then you've got to factor in the age difference here.
Yeah, the age.
Tyson is 58 years old.
58 years old.
And while he's had, exhibition bouts since retiring.
Yeah.
A competitive fight,
right.
against someone like Jake Paul, who's, young, hungry, driven to prove himself.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, the age discrepancy is huge.
It's huge.
And D, he seems genuinely concerned for Tyson's safety.
Oh, yeah.
He even compares it to other sports,
right.
Where age plays a major factor.
Yes.
He says golf is pretty much the only sport where you can realistically compete at that age.
He says golf. That's funny.
It's funny, but it's true.
It's true.
And it really highlights the physical demands of boxing.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. And the wear and tear on the body is immense.
Immense.
You think about all the punches Tyson has taken over the years.
It's got it up.
It's got to add up.
For sure.
And D even speculates that Tyson might be regretting his decision.
Oh, wow.
To take this fight. Imagine the pressure.
I can't even imagine.
The weight of those expectations.
Right.
And this is where it gets really interesting because despite, the age concerns, the risks involved, you can't ignore Tyson's legacy.
Right.
The guy's an icon.
An icon.
Known for his explosive power and that, intimidating presence he had in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
D actually uses, this really vivid imagery.
Okay.
He talks about how Tyson could just, unleash a boom boom and send Paul to Queer Street. Which, for those who don't know boxing lingo, means basically being badly hurt or just completely disoriented.
You don't know where you are.
You don't know where you are. So he's not just hyping the fight, he's acknowledging that there's a very real possibility.
A real possibility.
That Tyson, even at his age,
58,
could tap into that primal instinct, that like monster within, and just like deliver a knockout blow.
It's scary to think about.
It is, right?
It is.
So you've got this fascinating contrast, you know?
Yeah.
He's got a young, ambitious fighter looking to cement his legacy.
Cemented.
Against an aging legend.
The legend.
Who might still have some fight left in him.
Might still have it.
So it makes you wonder, like, what's really motivating each of them?
Yeah.
What are the stakes here?
What are the stakes? Exactly.
For Tyson, I think it's probably a mix of things, right?
It's got to be.
Maybe he's looking for one last moment of glory.
A last moment.
To prove that he's still got it.
Prove it.
Maybe it's, more of a financial decision, a way to, secure his future.
Secure the bag.
Yeah, secure the bag.
Yeah.
But for Paul, I mean, a win against Tyson?
Oh, man.
That would be career-defining.
Career-defining.
Wouldn't it?
Absolutely. It would, catapult him into a whole new realm of boxing legitimacy.
Oh, for sure.
He would no longer be the YouTuber turned boxer.
Right.
He would be
the real deal.
The real deal.
Yeah.
But, and this is a loss against a 58-year-old Tyson.
Oh, man.
That could be devastating for his career.
Devastating.
It could, undermine everything he's done.
Undo all that work.
Cast doubt on his abilities.
Big time.
So the stakes are incredibly high.
Oh, they are?
For both fighters, but in, totally different ways.
For sure.
And the potential consequences, both physically and professionally.
Oh, yeah.
They're huge. And then there's the whole question of, how this fight would even be sanctioned.
Yeah, how?
We're talking about, a significant age difference, potential health risks. How can a commission approve this?
I don't know.
It seems almost inconceivable.
Yeah.
And Dee brings up a good point,
He does.
He even jokes about the unique laws of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Texas. Where you can, own giraffes and zebras.
Oh,
as if to say, well, anything goes in Texas, anything goes.
It's funny.
It is funny.
But it underscores the, absurdity.
It really does.
Of this whole situation. It's are we entering this new era of boxing?
A new era?
Where age is no longer a barrier?
No barrier.
Or is this just, a spectacle?
A spectacle.
A one-off event. Designed to,
generate buzz.
Make money. It's a question worth pondering.
It is. Yeah, it really is a question worth pondering. And, speaking of pondering, Dee actually suggests that Tyson might be relying on something a little more than just his usual training.
Really?
To prepare for this. Fight something a little unconventional.
Unconventional. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, he hints at Tyson maybe using psychedelics. As part of this preparation.
Wow.
Which is pure speculation, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But it does add another layer to this whole thing.
It really does. I mean, it makes you wonder, what is Tyson's, mental and physical state?
Right.
Really, going into this. I mean, we know he's in decent shape, but is he mentally prepared for this?
Yeah, for the intensity, the pressure. Of a fight against a guy like Jake Paul.
Right, exactly.
Who's hungry.
Who wants this.
Yeah.
And how is he even approaching this fight strategically? I mean, Tyson was known for his, aggressive knockout style, but can he still rely on that at 58?
Well, Dee actually touches on this.
Okay.
And suggests that Tyson's age might actually play to his advantage.
Really? How so?
Well, he argues that Paul, despite his recent wins, hasn't really faced an opponent who carries the same aura of intimidation as Mike Tyson.
Like that fear factor.
The fear factor, yeah.
Yeah.
He even imagines a scenario where Paul gets hit by Tyson for the first time and just has this realization of, this is Mike Tyson.
Wow.
That
would be a game changer.
It would be a game changer.
Right? Totally.
That psychological impact could really throw Paul off.
Absolutely.
Suddenly he's not just facing, a tough opponent.
Right.
He's facing a legend.
The legend.
A guy who was once the most feared man on the planet.
It's true.
And that could lead to, hesitation, doubt.
Mistakes that Tyson could capitalize on.
Absolutely.
But on the flip side, right.
Right.
If Paul manages to weather that initial storm.
Yeah.
If he can overcome that intimidation factor and stick to his game plan,
right,
then it becomes a battle of styles.
It does.
A clash between youth and experience.
Youth and experience, exactly.
And that's where the proposed fight details become really interesting.
Okay.
D mentions they're talking about 8 2-minute rounds.
Okay.
Which is shorter than professional rounds.
Shorter rounds.
And potentially larger gloves.
Larger gloves.
14 ounces instead of the standard 10 or 12.
Interesting.
It seems like they're trying to create, a spectacle.
A spectacle, for sure.
While also trying to, mitigate some of the risks.
Yeah, mitigate the risks.
To both fighters.
To both guys, yeah.
But how would those modifications, actually affect the fight?
That's a good question.
Would shorter rounds favor Paul's younger legs and stamina?
They could, yeah.
Would larger gloves diminish Tyson's power? I mean, these are...
Good question.
Yeah, these are all the things you have to think about.
You do.
Shorter rounds could definitely benefit Paul. I mean...
It could.
Allowing him to, maintain a higher pace.
Right.
And potentially outwork Tyson.
Outwork him, yeah.
Over the course of the fight.
Yeah.
But larger gloves could actually work in Tyson's favor as well.
Really?
Think about it.
Okay.
Tyson was known for his knockout power.
Yeah.
But that power was often generated through, speed and precision.
Not just brute force.
Not just brute force, exactly.
Okay.
Larger gloves could help him absorb some of the impact from Paul's punches.
Interesting.
Allowing him to stay in the fight longer.
Stay in the fight.
And wait for that opportunity to counter.
Yeah, to counter.
It's a really interesting point, right?
It is.
It suggests that these, seemingly minor rule changes could actually have a significant impact.
A big impact.
On the dynamics of the fight.
On the whole fight.
And it highlights the, strategic complexity.
Yeah, the complexity of this matchup. It's not just age versus youth.
Right.
It's styles, it's adaptation.
It's the mind game.
It's the mind game.
It's exploiting every little advantage.
Every little advantage.
And then there's that psychological factor, right?
Yeah.
How will Tyson handle the pressure?
The pressure.
Fighting in front of, a massive audience.
A huge audience.
Knowing that his legacy is on the line.
Yeah.
And for Paul, how will he deal with, the weight of expectations?
Yeah.
The knowledge that a loss to Tyson could derail his entire boxing career. I mean, these are questions that only they can answer in the ring.
Only they can answer.
But the fact that we're even having this conversation...
I know, it's crazy.
That this fight is being seriously considered...
Right.
It says so much about, the evolving landscape of boxing.
It does.
And our society's just, enduring fascination with spectacle.
Pure spectacle, yeah.
It also raises, some important questions.
It does.
About the ethical implication.
Ethical implication.
Of this kind of a matchup.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Is it right?
To allow two fighters with such a significant age gap to compete against each other.
Especially given the potential health risks.
Yeah, exactly.
To me,
Tyson is not the same fighter he was in his prime.
He's not, no.
His body has endured years of punishment.
Years of it.
To put him in the ring with someone like Paul who's younger, stronger. And arguably has more to lose.
More to lose, yeah.
It makes you wonder if we're prioritizing entertainment.
Over well-being.
Over the well-being of these athletes. It's a tough question.
It is.
And there are no easy answers. No easy answers. It's a tough one. But let's shift gears for a second and kind of zoom out to the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
What is this potential fight, this clash of generations, personalities, what does it say about our culture?
Well, I think it speaks to our fascination with defying age,
Mm-hmm.
Pushing boundaries.
Pushing boundaries, yeah.
We see it in other areas of life too, right?
Yeah, totally.
Older entrepreneurs, disrupting industries, senior athletes competing at high levels.
Right.
There's this almost romantic notion that age is just a number.
Just a number.
That we don't have to be defined by it.
And the media loves to play into that narrative.
Oh, they love it.
It's a story that sells, right?
It sells.
The aging legend seeking redemption.
Position, yeah.
The young upstart challenging the establishment.
Absolutely. And social media just amplifies it tenfold.
Oh, it's a whole other beast.
Creates this echo chamber where hype and spectacle often overshadow
totally
the nuances and the complexities of the situation.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of what Dee said about Texas.
Oh yeah.
And their relaxed laws around owning exotic animals.
Right.
It's if you can own a giraffe.
A giraffe, yeah.
Why not let a 58-year-old boxing icon fight a YouTube star?
Exactly.
It all kind of feeds into that same,
spectacle-driven
culture, yeah.
Oh, sure.
It's about pushing the limits.
Pushing the limits.
Blurring the lines of what's, acceptable.
What's acceptable.
And it raises this really important question, I think.
It does.
For all of us. Are we as consumers of this content complicit?
Complicit.
In perpetuating this culture?
Are we?
Are we so hungry for entertainment?
The next viral moment.
Yeah, the next viral moment that we overlook the potential consequences.
It's a good question.
It is. It's a question worth pondering. Because whether this fight happens or not, the conversation it has sparked, it's valuable.
Yeah.
It forces us to confront, our own biases about age. Our fascination with celebrity. And our role as spectators. In a world where spectacle often overshadows substance.
Right, where the flash is more important than
what's really going on.
Exactly.
I think he sums it up perfectly.
He does.
When he says that this fight is...
He says it's wild to watch.
Wild to watch.
But it also makes you think.
It makes you think, yeah.
It's a spectacle, but it's also a reflection of our cultural values, our anxieties about aging, and our desire to just see the impossible. Made possible.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive...
What's the takeaway here?
Well, I hope listeners come away with a sense of critical awareness and understanding that even something as seemingly straightforward as a boxing match can be layered with complexity. Ethical dilemmas, cultural significance.
It's more than just two guys in the ring.
Way more.
Yeah.
And I hope they're encouraged to look beyond the hype, to ask questions, to engage with these topics in a thoughtful and nuanced way.
Absolutely. Well said. And for those listening, we want to hear from you.
We do.
What are your thoughts on this potential fight? What questions does it raise for you?
What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, share your insights, your concerns, your predictions.
Let's have a conversation.
Because at the end of the day, the most important conversations, they happen outside of the ring,
We do.
Within our communities, as we grapple with the complexities of our world and the choices we make.
As individuals and as a society.